Yo, what's good, everybody? This is the GameHeads XP podcast, where we bring you potions and notions from the gaming world, and especially the Caribbean. I just love saying potions and notions. I don't think I said it in a few pods, but
I mean, it's pretty fitting for Halloween season, right? Potions, witches, all that
and
stuff.
notions. I should add my, should add a bewitched hat for the podcast today. It's all about them bewitched skins. Let me bring that up a little bit later as far as spooky skins go. All right, and I'm happy to, be doing things with my brother, them, the GameHeads. Them, I'm your host for today or this evening or whenever you're listening on all podcast services, YouTube, Facebook, GameHeads, INTL, with the Solid Network as well. All right, and you know who always with me is the one and only Bushido.
Oh, no. Sorry. No. It's sauce. Now, if you take a look at that, anyone who's watching knows it's interchangeable, Cam. It's interchangeable. It's either one or the other.
Why would you mess up my intro?
This was the plan all along.
It's Bushido Brown, aka Sauce.
Okay, every time we did Bushido, it never sounded that constipated, but thank you for the introduction.
That's the passion.
Yeah, is that the passion? It's just all that pent up passion inside, huh?
I'm a Scorpio.
Yes, sir.
I'm a Scorpio. And
all right, let's get through the guests. We got Siicon from TK, the Elite Kick Spot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man? I am fine. A little bit hot because the wind won't blow this way, but we cooling over here, just doing some drawings, getting ready for some melts to drop.
You got any cool AKAs?
Nope. It's only I mean, y'all got it down either side. I wouldn't talk with other ones because they don't go with the character. Seaside's the reap. Yeah. I can't bring the wolf in yet.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So Alpha or Sigma?
Yeah. Well, the OG name that I used to use before I went with Siicon was K9. Yeah. And that was like majority of the gaming that I did, like Call of Duty, Black Ops 2. That was most of the time the name that they went by. So you'd probably hear some of the people from the team call me that in there.
Yeah, just off rip. And if I'm to introduce the next guest, I have an AKA for him. I don't know if I should bring it out the chamber. It's LordZoe.
Keep the AKA with Zoe.
I could get one AKA in?
I'll allow it.
One AKA the Count.
The Count.
The Count. The Count.
Hey,
the Count is the villain.
That's the October moniker.
Zoe is a professional fighter. I let him explain the rest.
Yeah, just I wouldn't say professional, but I've traveled and done some tournaments for Tekken. I tried my hand at Street Fighter. Wasn't too good at it. Trying to see now if I can pick up, with MK11. See what else is out there. I'm thinking of Guilty Gear, but right now, so it's kind of just sharpening the focus on Tekken right now to get a little better, to rep the country a little better.
Stop being humble. You
that's what it is.
Compete against other nations. You compete overseas. Like,
from you say you're trying to get better in Tekken, use a sweat.
Yeah,
hands down.
He's just a humble one.
Yeah.
I can tell you now, don't mind the sweater vest. Look here, the drip is real. Sweat is real. The sweat is real.
Let's go.
Yeah. Man, today in the gauntlet, a few things, it's Halloween, and I got to shout out everybody who's been following and keeping up with GameHeads Reanimated. We got a lot of updates on that to keep you, should I say, abreast of everything that's happening with GameHeads Animated. But let's start off with some horror. We've been doing a lot of horror-oriented type of things. I think let's get everybody's favorite, best, however you word it, horror game. We start off with the games. As far as it goes.
Honestly, I haven't played that's actually like a genre of game I haven't played much. I've played a lot of everything else. I mean, we did just do the Back 4 Blood stream last night, right? I haven't played that enough to say it's my favorite, but it's a good one. But I would definitely say, I mean, I put a lot of time into Dead by Daylight. I know you and me streaming that right now, Cam, on your Twitch channel, Cam the Comfort. I would definitely say, I mean, for multiplayer, that's it. But I think if we wanted to keep it more just like a game that's specifically for horror, you know, those single player ones, I think Resident Evil 7 was what hit it for me. Yeah, Biohazard.
Well, what about it? Like,
I mean, have you ever played the game on VR?
Oh man,
okay. So then,
you are strong,
right there, bro. Right there, then,
bro.
It was over.
It
was over. I've never played a game where like I wanted to play it so much, but dreaded having to play it.
Exactly.
You know, like dreading the need to play it, because like I wanted to play it. I wanted to continue the game. I wanted to, you know, continue facing all those horrors. But at the same time, I am not that brave. So like every time I pick up that controller, every time I put the set on, I was shivering, man. I was shivering, and it was like it really felt it like in just right here. It was like, okay, like just this tension. I don't know if I could go through this, right? The only other game I've ever like played was I think a Five Nights at Freddy's, where I felt sort of the same way. But that was when I was much younger. Not so scary nowadays, but yeah.
Yeah, I can't do the jump scares. I can't do the jump scares, man. Like I've never tried Five Nights at Freddy's just because the type of scares, it just ain't fair. It's a cheap scare. Like, you know, I need to feel dread.
Yeah.
Right? So I really like Dre's pick. I mean, as for me, this year I binged every Resident Evil to get ready for Village, and it was it was an exquisite I would say elevator ride to the top of the horror game mountain. Village put everything together in such amazing ways, and I think if you just played 7 or Biohazard without playing, you know, the older ones, you wouldn't get the nuance of everything they did to put Village together into this just amazing. You take the good stuff from the older ones that were really tight with the controls of the newer ones and the feeling of the newer ones, and that one is, you know, I guess most closely to Resident Evil 4. You know, and 4 was where I first got that weird camera.
Yeah.
You know, the controls were almost tilting to me when I first began it, but then as the game went on, like the first level, like I kept dying because the controls were so bad, and I was like, why am I playing? It looked bad.
It was just the angles, man.
There was, and you couldn't stop, and like I think they do a good job just with the feeling of being in a world you have no control of, and it's just dread from place to place that you walk from. Just the lack of movement and everything like that, and I think my first remembrance of any horror game was at my cousin's house. I was taking a nap upstairs. He's downstairs playing the PlayStation. I come downstairs and he's playing the original Resident Evil on PlayStation. And it was dark. It was rainy. I think everyone went out. It's just me and him home. And he gives me the controller and then he leaves. Right?
I have one question. Is he okay now?
He's okay now, but it was me. He put the controller in my hand and he left the room. I guess use a bathroom or something. And I'm there just trying to maintain in this police station, trying my best. And it was rough, but it was intriguing. I think that kind of sparked an intrigue for me. So, you know, I got to give it to Resident Evil. But if I talk horror games, I'll talk all day because my channel is a lot of horror content, you know. A lot of spooky dooky type of stuff. Follow up twitch.tv/Cam the Comfort because we like to be scared, boy.
Oh wow.
I think I'll go next on this train of thought. I'm another Resident Evil guy, but I haven't really played a lot of horror games, specifically just horror. in a good while. I think like Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5 was really the last one I kind of jumped in head first, really like, oh my God, I'm going to do this all the way. For the past maybe 2 years, I've been spending a lot of time on Left 4 Dead. That's just on PC now. Like that's really my horror go-to now. Just one of those random tank situations, something that always have your heart beating. I guess you could cover a little bit more of that as we go further on. Back with Blood, because they correlate.
Later.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, they correlate so well. So I'm gonna just leave it there. But yeah, I'm also a Resident Evil baby.
Well, since we're on the talk of that, I have one question.
Kirby's Dream Land.
Never. So the first Resident Evil I played, I think it was Code Veronica.
Nope.
Never played it again after I played the first level. I was just like, nah, this ain't for me. But then I think that was 5 with Chris.
Oh, yeah.
And when I hopped into it, I was like, the controls were so different. But I loved the story.
Sheena?
Man. Yes. I think it's Sheena. And it was like so nice because that was the first time I get to play that with my little brother. So a lot of the games that I played, like horror, were more co-op, me and my little brother. So my favorite, I'd say, horror series would be the Fair series, Fair 1, 2, and 3. Oh man, I played 1 with no expectations. I didn't understand the game at all. And let me tell you something. That little girl scared me so many times. It was like, you would go at a door where they're making a bunch of noise and be like, okay, a jump scare's coming up. You turn around, nothing. You continue, you start shooting some guys, and when you turn around, she's right there. Like, that's how it got you. Like, during combat, things happen. And then I think that was 3. Me and my brother, we picked up on that again. We played that co-op. So I was the brother who was basically reincarnated, and he was the guy who's still alive with the gun. But they were like crossing over and talking amongst each other, and she still was doing jump scares on them at different times. So like while we were in a spot, we'd split off, and I'd be shooting up some guys, and he'd just be like shouting and screaming like something happened over there. I'm just like, stop tripping out. And then go back there, and because he normally had the powers, like he'd pick people up and throw them around, and I just got the gun sometimes, and we just changed it out. So certain missions I played the guy with the power, which was like OP. So that made the game a little bit less scary, but it still had like the perfect jump scares feel. Like if you or me who like to play a lot of games where you go and scavenge a lot, it's like, oh, I know a door that can open when I see one. You open that door and something's gonna scare the crap out of you. And like it got me so much throughout that game. It's like, oh, I know a rocket launcher is gonna be somewhere around here. Open the door, body swings out, or the girl scares you, she pulls you in some place, and like while all of that is happening, the player the player you're playing co-op with, they have no clue what's going on. So they're just like, where are you? And you cannot find them. Like he can look through that door again, that door is just pitch black.
Wow.
I'm like gone. Like I saw it on sale on Steam, and I just picked it back up, want to replay it again. So
you're gonna hate yourself.
Yeah. This time I'm gonna do it solo. And
but yo, I mean, I always saw the Fair trailer, and I was like, wait, I straight me, I whenever I saw the Fair trailer, I was like, I straight me, and I picked Resident Evil is the best. It's a good amount of horror, good amount of gameplay as well. But I feel that guns kind of take away from some of that pain.
Because you have something to hide behind, right? It's not like
it's like you're not scared.
Yeah,
like,
you're not
shoot it.
You sure?
I mean,
think about something like Fair. Fair, where you just get grabbed. You have this big old rocket launcher.
Exactly.
And you still getting grabbed. It's like, what I have this for?
But
please explain that.
There's never like a cutscene that warns you.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, look at a game like Outlast or Outlast 2, where I watched the first Outlast. Never played it. But I watched, even just watching it, I was terrified. I tried playing the second one. Realized it was about the devil, then I put that one back down.
You are brave soul.
You talking about being afraid, not traumatized.
That's the thing. So it's like you don't have a means to protect yourself in Outlast. All you could do is run and hide, right? That is way scarier, right?
I can do worse.
Resident Evil 7 was scary, right?
Yeah.
That old man scared the crap out of me, but there's no way he's scarier no matter how many transformations he'll go through or how many times he'll hack me and or chop me in the back like Cam likes to say.
I can do much worse.
Then I will not be as scared of him than I am of just one dude with a sickle chasing me with a hood, and I don't have any means to protect myself. All I can do is run away.
Yeah, like it's that element of you can't help yourself, right? Yeah. I can do worse than that, Dre. Right? We talk about hard games. Have you guys ever heard about playable teaser?
No.
PT. Nah. No. I'm not. No. I'll never do that again.
Okay, hold on. Wait.
Never again in my life will I do that.
I think Zoe was with
never again.
When
it was a Silent Hill. Yeah, it was a Silent Hill.
No, wait, the one with that was that Kojima game that never actually came out.
Right. Yeah. It was a demo made by it was a demo made by Kojima, and I don't think I could find a trailer for you guys, but it's a demo made by Kojima. So the premise of this one is you just wake up in a room, you walk out into the room, it's just a hallway. The hallway goes up, and you just turn right. It's a little bathroom in the corner. Go up some more. It's a front doorway, and then the end of the hallway. When you make it to the end of the hallway, you go back to the beginning of where you started. And every trek you make through this fucking hallway is sinister. Right? Your job is to basically figure out what is happening. Why are you going through this hallway over and over and over? And every time you go through, you figure something out, but then you get more confused. There's a fetus in the sink in the bathroom.
Don't forget the thing that closed the bathroom door.
When you go to check, I don't want to spoil it, but you go to check on the seam, and it screams. Then the bathroom door closes, and I thought somebody stopped playing some scary music. No, really and truly, it's hard for me to explain how scary that is. I think me and Zoe played it when it first came out, and I didn't tell him what it was. Right? I sat him in the chair. I gave him the controller. I said, "We're gonna play this." You remember?
Yeah.
We're gonna play this. And
I don't think we ever finished it.
What do you remember?
Walking through, just like you explained, the hallway. Walking around, was confused. Like, what the hell is this? You know, it seems ridiculous. Then the more you start walking through, like, okay, the bathroom door is now a little hinged open. You know, that's the scene there, the thing closing it. You're going around again. You start listening to the radio. This radio, the guy on the radio is kind of explaining how this person just murdered his whole family.
Yeah.
And you start to realize, wait, I am this person that's kind of just walking around in this maze. Finally able to get it. Oh God.
It's a whole 12 minutes.
Just letting it play while you talk.
Bro.
Just letting
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Bro. This is bad memories, man.
You know what is the creepiest thing about this when they actually released it for people that do coding to break it down? They literally had a character behind you that was basically connected to your movement, just making this chattering noise. And you could see the shadow, but never see behind you.
Like, see the hallway?
Oh my gosh, man.
Like that is the most creepiest thing ever.
I know.
No weapons, no HUD.
Man, I've never seen such a terrifying hallway. Nothing's even happened yet.
Exactly.
Bro, it's just...
Like, look at that.
No.
That's the other end of the hallway. That's the bathroom door. Shout out to everybody listening on audio. Remember, you could watch the podcast on YouTube as well as Facebook, GameHeads International, or the Solid 242. But we're just looking through this PT playable teaser. This had the gaming community in a spin.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it is you can't download it anymore, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have a PS2 or a PS4 with it on the hard drive. You see how it just resets? Just it starts over, right? So I have a PlayStation 4 with PT on it, and just now remembering, maybe we could get Dre to play this.
No.
Just me. That would be something I'd want to watch.
I just told you I am not brave. As much as I like to tell you to stop running away, bro.
Listen, so the lamp is moving now. It's just. See, the depth of the game.
So you'll pick up on certain things that happen between each time you walk through, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's a little different. Why is that? Why is that happening?" Right?
Yeah.
You have to actually do certain interactions in order to progress. That's the next thing. Like, you can't just
do things to progress.
Keep going in a circle.
As it just continues, it spirals into this. Like, you kind of feel like you losing your mind.
Yeah.
Almost. Because you're trying to make sense of things that shouldn't make sense.
Bro,
every time you turn around a horror game, that is just dread in and of itself.
I want you to understand that the reason he's turning around is because he can hear someone breathing heavily on your neck.
You can hear someone breathing.
The sound quality on this, when I played it literally sounded like it was here on my headphones. Not here, it was like right here. So while I was playing, I was like, it's like, oh my god!
I don't. That's the thing.
So good.
And this is the thing about playing horror games. There's only one. If you want the best experience, you got to play with a headset on.
Of course,
right? You got to play with a headset on because you get immersed in the game, and that's what you want to be. Horror games are one of those games where you want to feel the most immersed.
Look at the bathroom door.
Yeah, that's one thing I can't deal with.
And you zoom in.
Okay, no.
Did you see that?
I don't need to see that. I don't need to see that.
And
bro,
it
gets worse.
It gets worse. So that's
worse.
the only way you progress. You have to zoom in and really look, and it's terrifying. All right? So Dre just got a nice little scare.
Yeah. The roaches put a perfect touch on this, though.
Yeah.
It was like
nice little scare.
That extra creep.
Bro.
I mean, at least the roaches didn't have wings, right? I mean, no, we don't. I'm not trying to give Kojima any kind of ideas, but at least they didn't have any wings.
It was amazing to see how much people was replaying it to see if they could find a code for something that he's doing in the game, though.
Right? Yeah.
It was like he had everybody in that loop as well. It's like, I gotta keep paying attention to detail, write down numbers, listen to the rate. People were going out their mind.
Absolutely. They might be able to find something.
That's the magic.
That's lost in the game or hidden in the game.
That's the magic when you make such detailed art that it just boosts all your other works, because people are gonna comb through it to see if it's just as detailed as the first, and it's an amazing precedence to have.
No, absolutely. I mean, look at switching gears over to movies, right? Just in that, look at Jordan Peele, right? When he came out with Get Out, how many times that movie was just combed through by so many different people, catching all these different
nuanced
elements and nuances within the film. We're like, oh, this meant this. One specifically that I had found that was really cool was when, I forget what the girl's name was, the one that the Daniel Kaluuya's character, the main character, was dating. And sorry, we might be going to spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched Get Out, but it's been years, so kind of your fault. But she was sitting on her bed, and when he had called her, she was eating Fruit Loops in a bowl by itself, and then had a glass of milk on the side. And people were like, "Oh, it's segregation. That's what it is, because colored on one side, white on the other." Right? So and that was that. Even that was a little bit of foreshadowing, because then we found out that she was on the whole scheme of she brought all these black men back to her family so they could hypnotize them and steal their bodies. So like stuff like that I always find so cool, when you can just find these small details, and it even ups the rewatchability and replayability of any of these different games and movies when you're watching or playing them.
I agree.
Yeah, let's quickly go through some of the best, our favorite horror movies out there. Because I'll be super quick. Least favorite, because sudden gore, I cannot take. I shudder at Final Destination. I just can't keep my eyes on the screen.
I love it.
I can't keep my eyes on the screen because I don't want to see. I don't want to.
No, it's funny. I just watched. I was, when the Final Destination movies had come out, I was too young to watch any of them. And so just last year, actually, during the pandemic, I decided, okay, I've heard enough about these series of movies, because these are what, the 2000s, 2000 to 2010, maybe one or two in the 90s, or at least one in the 90s, late 90s. I decided, hey, let me watch the movies. I thought they were hilarious. Yeah. Right, and maybe that's something to be said about. No, I mean, yeah. So, like, when you saw those movies, how old were you?
I probably was 12.
Okay, so then, yeah, definitely scary for someone who.
But it wasn't really
who doesn't have it. Like,
it was the fact that
someone who has.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see somebody's head.
You know,
like even if it's like, okay, their head's gonna get smashed, cool. But a sudden surprise head smash. It's like,
yeah. But I mean, if you watch all the movies, like, you know what's gonna happen. Like at the beginning, there's always just this domino effect of, you know.
I think that's kind of added to his problem, is the fact that he knew it was gonna happen. He knew when it was gonna happen. It's like every moment there's an opportunity just for random gore, you know.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
and the way they get you, like I remember, like they always get you because it's a scene. It's like, okay, somebody's about to die, right? And then you think. Like, and then they step out in traffic, boom, car misses them, right? And then something else happens, and then the last thing is like, he got out of it, and then boom, nose rip off your face, you know, something like that. But other than that, I just have to give an honorable, salute to the Saw franchise.
I was going to bring it up.
That's a franchise I've never seen a Saw movie.
What? Yeah,
never.
Like me and my friends, we would count the days. We would go to theaters.
Bro.
It was so intricate as a horror movie. We tied them all together. There were context clues. It was really amazing. It started to falter at the end, but it was so well written, and it really got us engrossed,
Right. I mean, everything when I always heard about it, I never heard about it in like in a positive tone. So like you giving it this review is the first time I've heard like, oh, like the movies are actually good. You don't just go there to see like people die. The violence or the gore isn't gratuitous, but it actually serves the plot or the story.
I think it's because they had so much. Like once they got to 7, and then see when series go on so long, when people get so invested that when their ending or their plot twist doesn't happen, they kind of call everything garbage.
Yeah,
right. And then with that, the studio they lose steam, so it all kind of crumbles. That's usually how it is. But the first 5 movies, I think you can give it 6 because that was a big reveal. One of your favorite, one of your heroes in Dead by Daylight, villains in Dead by Daylight is one of a major plot twist in the Saw franchise that didn't come until the 6th movie.
I mean, does she have that Assassin's Creed type blade on her wrist in the movies as well? Or is that just something that's purely in Dead by Daylight?
I'm gonna just say they can be bacon.
They can be bacon.
But you know what was the twist for me that I think they revealed too early is when they had Jigsaw, the old man, in one of the games basically, and it gave that effect. Like, bro, there's been like burly people, skinny people, all size people. This old guy in this game, and he's like figuring out things. Like and he was never like a big part of it. He's like guiding people into things, and it's just watching it happen in front of him. But like
sounds, sorry.
To be fair though, he was from the first one.
He's in the first one,
guy on
which
the
is crazy.
floor.
And
And he came back. I think that was the fourth or the fifth.
The fourth or fifth movie, we then found out
again.
it was him.
Exactly. So it's like, how all these people just get entangled with it, and then he is just there, and it's just like, oh, you're really good. And then when they kind of introduced basically the pig, it was like, oh, this is a mastermind right there. Because it was like take what I know and what I can do and pass it on to somebody and hope they could recreate myself in them.
Right.
But
so there's that new movie that came out with what's his
Don
name?
Cheadle, is it? It's Chris Rock.
It was Chris
Yeah.
Rock.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys seen that?
No,
Never heard of it.
Okay.
I think that is a bastardization. And there was one before that as well. You know, it's a different team. It's not the initial magic of it.
So this new one was what, like a reboot of it, or was it
The last two were, the one before the Chris Rock one was like a reboot, reimagining. It's just the franchise name. Yeah, it's just a franchise name. Try to bring that to a modern day audience.
Right.
The one with Chris Rock was like a sub story of that new one. Right? I don't think they can work today.
No.
Why not?
They are wild. I just think they're wild.
What about it, like in today's, I guess, society doesn't work could not work? Like, these movies couldn't be recreated nowadays.
I feel like it's probably just the following up on it, right? Especially when you had so much time in between, like Saw 1 through 6. They were beautifully written, and you can see where they kind of intertwine throughout. Like, each movie shows you where they intertwine. Like, you kind of understand events now, how everything is leading up to whatever point it's making, right?
Right.
Even when it comes down to teaching certain values as persons are literally dying in front of you. Like, one of them is just might be about, all you guys have to do is work together. Boom. All you need to do is let these persons figure it out themselves. You know, like these certain like life lessons he's trying to teach people that literally will cost you your life if you do not adhere to this lesson. Like, to have that now come up today and figure out how in today's society is that going to play out, and like how they're going to write something, I guess, especially with I don't want to call it, but you know, today's culture.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Okay. So you're thinking
I don't think
like what they might bring politics into it, like you've seen with a lot of things
I feel like
recently.
I feel like
be politics. It just.
I feel like. I mean.
Yeah, it wouldn't be pure art. It would be something with an agenda that. Might be
right.
pushing.
Like Squid Game. Squid Game is really similar if we think about it on a level. Squid Game is kind of similar to it, except. I feel like you have to be kind of sick.
Yeah.
Gotta be kind of sick.
That's perfect.
To write Saw, and the fact that it has been it's been done already. It's kind of, you have to find a new level of sickness to find another something that creative to really
dig deeper into that darkness.
Deeper into that dark, chaotic mind that may crack somebody's mental.
Yeah, it's funny because like people will give like a lot of these, like my first person that comes into mind is like Stephen King. People give like these guys like these huge accolades for making these amazing horror stories. But at the same time, it's like, don't you think that's like, I mean, it's just something to be said, like that's a little creepy, like about those people. You get to meet that person, you're like, okay, yeah, this guy is a psychopath. He just decided to write instead of enact whatever was going on in his mind in real life. Now, I'm not saying that Stephen King's a psychopath. If you're watching Stephen King, you're not a psychopath. I love you, but it's just where like do you get sort of that? What do you look at, or where do you get where do you go to bring that darkness or that all that messed up stuff out, right? And maybe some people say, oh, it's from like the world's already messed up enough, you can just find it in the world, and that's just stuff that we've seen where you can find easily, and it's just real life, and you're just putting it on screen in a different medium, or putting some more creativity into it. But I'm not sure. Yeah,
I think the climate today, you have a certain time, like unless it's written old or back then, because like Squid Game was pretty good, but it was written in 2010, or it's written a long time ago. Now it's like if you put out something, they want they kind of rush them, they kind of like press them, they kind of squeeze them for all the juice that they can get out of them. And speaking about getting squeezed. Sauce was squeezed.
I squeezed it too much, too many times. Those zombies were getting a little handsy. I don't know.
So he's not remembering the fact that Sauce got squeezed last night. Shout out to everybody who was able to catch our Back for Blood release party, and it's great that I didn't expect all of us to be able to be on a podcast right after that. But all of us on this podcast, we were together last night playing Back for Blood on its opening day, and Sauce got squeezed by.
I like to call him Patrick because they come with a giant fist.
So let's get into our impressions of Back for Blood and all that type of stuff. I think I just have to say we had a lot of fun. Everybody who hit me up, they was like, Cam, I was on the stream, but I almost couldn't stay because it was so chaotic and crazy. And but it looked like so much fun. So what are you guys thinking about Back for Blood? I think this is 10 years after the last game that we got from Turtle Rock Studios. Warner Brothers published it. It ran my teenage years. Me and Zoe, we would run these on the highest difficulties. It was times you couldn't, it wasn't save points. You had to start from the beginning, go as far as you could, over, and to see it back. They're Back for Blood, man.
And of course. I mean, how do you guys think? Because that's just another thing with Left 4 Dead. I was not old enough when that game came out, so I just didn't. All those games passed me. So this is my first entry, I guess, in that franchise. I guess in that franchise or that type of zombie shooter. I've played Killing Floors. That's sort of the only thing I can really compare it to. I thought it was very good, but I'm more interested to see like how well you think it holds up to the Left 4 Dead games.
Well, I guess I'll start off on this because I did mention that was one of my favorite horror games, and I still was playing it this year, last year. It had nothing to do with any type of expectation for Back 4 Blood even being released when I started playing it again. So hearing it, it really excited me to hear that there was another one coming, and I will say definitely playing last night that it did live up to expectations. I feel like anyone who's a real vet or fan of the series, they are very much pleased of this game. Weapon customization, that's something that they actually added into this game. Before, it was just you get a gun. The most I think you could do is pick up a red dot or something like that, and that was it. There was no sights, there was no type of mics, mic sizes you can switch up, anything like that. So that customization just for the weaponry alone added a lot to the game. Now we can have the same base gun, but it's used in two different circumstances. I could be more of a horde clearer, you could be more of just that boss fight type of person. Just by the rounds you use versus the AP versus just fast mics. The level design itself, I love the fact that even though they had to kind of ditch everything because they switched over publishers, they didn't leave too much. Like they didn't abandon too much. Like even though they had to revamp like the special infected, that's what they're called. I'm not too sure what they're called inside Back 4 Blood. I just know them as a special infected.
Yeah, they're special infected.
Written or something. Okay,
good. The Forsaken, I think, is a new type, but there is a more special written.
So for those ones, like the fat ones, the puking ones. They're still boomers in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Like the fat ones from Left 4 Dead, they're still boomers. Tanks, I think that's the ogre now. He's now like they're actually boss fights now. Well deserved. That's great. We finally have a life bar to see if we're actually killing this thing or not. Thank you.
Man.
That alleviated so much stress. We see now the spitters, they've now changed them and they've morphed like the hunter and spitter into this one role. Stalker is new, the snitch is new. They did, even the birds. Like the actual level design themselves, even though they're still just as long, and the arcs they're breaking up, but they break them up so you can still have to go to these safe houses. You still have that core left for there, but you actually see a game where I can say, at least for me personally, has stepped up a lot.
Yeah,
they've revamped it, and I love it.
And like especially back in the day, the levels felt so long. It felt like you were really exploring real worlds and opening doors and finding things, and it was able to create a sense of dread and panic with your teammates, because if they go roaming by themselves, they're gonna scream, they're gonna get grabbed, and then it's like it's a panic, and like you really have to rely on other people.
And things really start to fall apart.
We felt some of that last night.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think it was when we were defending the diner, and someone was, I think it was Cam, was on the truck. Listen to me, OP position. All I saw was the guy jump over Cam and grab me and start carrying me. And I'm just like, okay, there's a wall here, and then he jumps over the wall. I'm just like, oh no. It took like the fear of going down and with that horde coming to him, like carry me over something to carry me into the horde. And I'm just like, even if I get away from him, one of these little stragglers are going to knock me down. So it's like, and I must say, Mom kind of weird on me. I played her. I love the shotgun. I'm just saying.
The mom character?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, okay, what does she do? Until I see that she gets that quick raise off, like that saved a lot of time with us standing there and holding.
We were all like that. I mean, we were really judging that book by its cover. Like we were like, why are you playing this old lady?
Yeah.
And like she's like, it seemed to be built in her kit that Mom will take care of you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I could honestly say the little quibs inside it where they speak towards each other depending on what happens. Like I think it was at the beginning, one of you guys bumped me off the
voice acting is great.
Yeah, you bumped me off I think that was one of the platforms, and it's like a horde of zombies just standing there. And she said something in that nature, like, watch where you're going. And it was just like, okay, so they really do react to what we do towards each other.
Yeah.
For me, the immersion is what makes me want to play games over and over and see them like away from cutscenes, having like that conversation. Like even her healing someone, she'd have like something witty to say, depending on which character.
Yeah, definitely. So, that's one thing that I really, really did like about the game was the voice acting and just the character that those characters had. Their personalities really shined to where it's like, okay, yeah, I know these characters, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And to compare it to something we all know Cam loves, like League of Legends, right? Where you when you pick these characters, you get to know these characters because, like, what in League of Legends, there's the lore, there's even just in game, like the things that they say, you're like, oh yeah, that's a really good quip, or oh that was so funny, and it like extends that fantasy. It's the same thing it was the same thing for me in Back 4 Blood. Obviously, it doesn't have the skins that League of Legends has, Cam, but just the personality that these characters had, I thought was really, really cool. Even when it came to just the friendly fire aspect, because there was a whole lot of friendly fire we were trying to
it was so much.
And it was like every 5 seconds, someone's like, "Hey, stop shooting me, please. That hurts." You know, and it would be just a different iteration of that. It's like, I swear, if you shoot me one more time, and it's like all these different personalities saying like the same thing but different ways. I thought that was so cool. So they put, you can definitely see that they put a lot of detail and put a lot of attention into that to, you know, bring players into that world and into that that fantasy of the game, which I really, really appreciated.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a game like that works because it feels like a sandbox to the point where it feels like you're dropped in there and you really have control over what happens. It doesn't feel like you're playing a game. It feels like we are all in our own right in this world trying to survive the best way we can. You know, it doesn't feel like it doesn't really feel like you're fitting the character. It feels like Austin over there, I over here. Dre, don't go that way. You could mess this up. We need to go this way. And it feels like your decisions matter. It feels like your teamwork matters. It feels like, you know, the pace that you go in matters, because if you start to go too fast, certain things going to come. Or if you go too slow, if you decide, yeah, man, let's look around, let's hunt, them zombies are still coming. So it's like it feels like you have so much choice over what is like your survivability in this world. And I think that's what makes it a real good co-op zombie survival.
Yeah, absolutely. The level that what you're talking about, how like you'll really feel the repercussions of the actions that you're making within the game itself was, I think my favorite level of that night was the ship, where we had to put all the explosives up on the ship. We had to fight our way in. There was a horde coming, and then we had to run off the ship within a time limit. And that was one of the times that I got grabbed on the ship. And Zoe came back and he was like, Drake, everyone else is smart for having left you behind, but you know what, I'm here. Like, I thank you for your service.
Yeah, it is funny because Zoe was kind of calming him down. He's like, you're fine.
It's like, guys, I'm getting kidnapped. Please help. And Zoe's like, hey, Drake, I'm here. It's okay.
Hey, I gotta give it up.
Shortly thereafter, I think Sai, that was you who fell off the edge. Like,
I think
like,
that was.
You go and get Dre, and then there's Sai. Like, when I check, Cam gone.
Cam gone. Cam is safe. He is safe. He's like, I'm ready to go. Like, I don't want to
what y'all doing.
Somebody gotta survive.
But like and that's when I felt like, okay, so this is what Left 4 Dead is, because that's exactly how I felt. I was lagging behind, and everyone else was ahead of me, and this whole horde was passing me. I still had to fight my way out, but this time alone, and I ended up failing at that. And then Zoe decided, God bless you, to come save me and bring me back before the ship exploded. That was one of the most fun games we had that night, in my opinion.
Right.
And that's some of the most fun I've had in a game this year, just in that level specifically. So, like, even just the level design is just top tier for this game.
Yeah. So, as far as people who played the old one, as far as improvements go, I think they did a good job taking Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2 into a next realm with the replayability. I think we're all excited to kind of test out more cards.
Yeah,
there's a card system that you share. You have solo cards. You have a solo set deck that you could put together, as well as a campaign deck. So when you go into that campaign, you get to be cohesive with your teammates based on what you guys pick or what card you want to run. We have the movement deck. We have the gamble deck. I think it's the loot deck, but deals with a lot of utility. You have the offense deck, and I think you have the heal, the defense type of card. So you can everyone can put together their own kind of loadouts, right?
Yeah.
That you can go into a game with, but they're still randomized. So you may have all the cards you like, but they're still randomized. But hopefully your loadout is filled with enough good cards to mash and synergize. And I feel like it's so much builds. We're going to see a lot of videos like, here is the perfect loadout to go in for this next boss. Then, it adds that element. Like, even if we went through this on 1 week, the next week we're going to say, listen, Dre, you run offense. Zoe run, we're going double offense. Me and Sai, we're going to run utility and defense, and you switch it up and things like that. And I'm seeing videos come out of things in the late game. And I'm very excited on, the potential that I see that's possible.
Definitely. And that's actually, sorry for cutting you off, just to add one more thing. And that's actually one thing I just want to let anyone who's listening or watching know. You talked about the late game stuff people were saying is crazy. We didn't get to the second part. Did we? Yeah, we got past the first one. We didn't fully finish the second part, right? So we're sort of still at the beginning of the game, and the game just came out, guns blazing, and that's what I really, really liked about it. There's not really much startup to the game itself. So I think that in that aspect, they did a good job.
I'd be honest, the card system for me was the start of every round is okay, running mom, she has no stamina. So it's okay, whenever I heard you guys get I got something with melee health, I was I'm going for just stamina and health. Straight through, it's like, okay, I got stamina last time, I'm going to get health this time. Stamina, and I was like, after a while, like, a health bar was so long, I was just like, I don't have enough med kits to heal myself. So I was like, okay, let me carry 2 med kits. Every time we start up another area, is like, okay, I know for sure I got to get 2 med kits, probably a razor wire because I have a shotgun. Once I put that down, it was just like, wait for like 3 of them to come. And the spread on the shotgun is so good. Like, I really enjoyed playing that yesterday.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, like you said, a shotgun. I'm waiting to see if it lasts long. You know, they start to get crazy with the weapons and stuff. You may get laser guns and like that cool stuff.
I'm waiting for my chainsaw, man. I'm waiting for a chainsaw.
Man.
Well, you could look forward to that because I think inside Left 4 Dead 2, Cam, correct me if I'm wrong, you do get a chainsaw.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Yes, you do. Left 4 Dead.
That can be.
Okay,
that
that's
something.
dope. One thing I was really happy to see, and I said it on stream as well, because all the roles were randomized. So I just happened to get Holly, and she had a barbed wire bat with nails in it, and I was like, oh yeah, I got Lucille. Let's go. And for anyone that knows me, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. So as soon as I got the bat, I was like, okay, yeah, this game's really trying to win me over. You know, so even just the weapons. I think I ran mostly sniper rifle throughout that playthrough or that session, and then the Desert Eagle for the sidearm. And even that, you get to choose sort of what you specialize in. So like I had the sniper rifle that I specialized in, like, you know, making sure that like the big guys are taken down quickly before they can really become a problem. Or even clearing hordes way ahead of us if I got a good position, I can see far away, especially with the scope, and taking those guys down to make it easier for us to traverse the level as well. So in just what you said, Cam, with each person having their role, I definitely think that rings true for even just the jobs that each gun fulfills in the game.
I think a real major point before we start to wind down is that there were boss fights, but the game is in one where you shoot zombie, you walk, you do objective to get to a boss fight. Yeah. Throughout the whole game is set pieces, right? It's set pieces where you go from one set piece into another set piece, into a boss subset piece that trails off into another set piece, into the final part of the boss set piece that goes into a larger cinematic set piece. It felt like an entire movie the entire way through, and it wasn't like we're just going, let's hurry up, get to the boss, or let's hurry up and get to the thing. You always feel like we don't know what's going to happen because the game isn't built around bosses. The game is built around set pieces. How everything feels is built around being in a terrible situation. That's really what it is, because sometimes you be like, okay, that's the boss there, let's get ready to fight that. But in this, you're like, anything could happen. The floor may drop under us and we have to do something. Like, it was a part we went into the library and we had to board up windows, right? And then we board up windows. It's like, yeah, you board up this windows, now y'all gotta get out of here.
For me, For me, what creeped me out about the library is like, okay, we could hear the footsteps of the monster. We're like, where were they? We went up in this small little attic, and it's like both of them were just like, yeah, I'm coming up here with you guys too. So it's like, for me, when I turned around, it's like, first thing I did was ping. I was like, something big coming up here, and we loaded them up. When we looked down, there's another 2 waiting. It's like, oh my god, like the game was purposely just like, yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all when y'all least expect it.
Yeah. It's bad situations.
Bad situations. Now, like a question that a lot of people are asking about the game is it worth the $60?
Yes.
And I would say, why pay $60 when you can just get Game Pass? And specifically for PC, and I know you're looking at me, right? But you could just to try it out. It's like right now for $1. He's trying to scare you, bro. But they're just trying to. I lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah. So for the game itself, like
that scared me.
If you could just, bro.
She gave him the jump scare.
Yeah, if you could pay $60. Yeah. But if you can for Game Pass, what is it? It was at $15 a base when I was looking at it right now. It was 14. So yeah. Even when I was looking at it just now, there was a promotion to get it for like $1.
Right.
And you just need standard to get to play the actual game.
Yeah.
I would say anyone that's just looking at the game and being like, is it worth it? It's definitely worth $1.
Yeah.
Right? For an entire month, you get to play this game, try it out, see what you like about it for $1.
Yeah.
Right? And then maybe you can so even the question of, is it worth $60? It doesn't really make much sense to me, because even at most you got to pay $13 to play this game.
Right.
Because it's on Game Pass. And so maybe it's sucks for just people who only have a PlayStation. But for someone like me who has a PlayStation and I have a PC, I can play it on my PC, and it's crossplay as well, right? So it covers a lot of the demographics, specifically just within gaming. So I think that we would have to play a little bit more to see if it's truly worth $60. But that's really not a question most people would have to answer these days. Or even have to ask, because you can just get Game Pass for $1 to try it out. If that promotion is still going on, or if at most it's $13.
I never thought I'd see Sauce.
People are allowed to change their minds.
Like, advocate for the Game Pass, but I'll let that be behind me, because Sauce didn't even pay $1 for.
No, I paid no dollars. I got gave me that code, so I was one of the lucky few. But even still.
I'm happy that so much people get to play it. It's not even to say, Game Pass is so good, you need to get Game Pass. It's more like so much people are gonna be able to play this, right? This quality game, even if it doesn't live up to people's expectations, it matches the originals, and those were amazing years ago, right? So the fact that so much people are gonna be able to play this one and kind of feel the way that me, Zoe Siicon, felt back then. To feel that again. So much people are going to be able to play this for a low price with Game Pass, and I got to give kudos to Xbox for Game Pass. It's such. It feels like real. It feels like real power to the players. And as much as I tease Dre, hopefully Dre download some more stuff.
Even when I was on Game Pass, I definitely saw a few games I haven't played or never even really thought of playing that I would now think about playing. Right, like Doom Eternal, who was never going to pay $60 for that game, even though I saw that it was such a good game. I've never been. I mean, Doom was once again too young for it. I didn't see, but it's not like I thought, why are people so hyped for Doom? I don't understand. Exactly. I can see how badass Doom is, right? Even just the soundtrack, that is in my workout playlist, right? But I never had that attachment to it because I was too young when the games came out originally, way too young, especially for the original. And it was the same thing with Wolfenstein, but I did play the rebooted of Wolfenstein a few years ago. Wolfenstein 2, New Colossus is on Game Pass. I'm definitely playing that. And that's another game that I just wasn't able to play as of when it came out. But now with Game Pass, I can actually play it. So thumbs up for Game Pass.
Yeah. No, bigger. It was so funny yesterday because I was at work and Dre messaged me. He's like, "Hey, Cam wants to know if you come to play Back for Blood." I was like, "Oh, that released tonight." So I literally went on the app on my phone, and because I have my Xbox settings on, and I just sent it over while I was at work, and it downloaded it for me. So I was like, "Okay, let me see if there's any patches." It downloaded the patches. It did everything. So when I came home, it was just turn the game on and play. So I could honestly say, like, having the app correlation with it keeps your mind fresh. Like, hey, while you're on your phone, because this is normally with me all the time, you could actually just look at it and be like, I think I should download this game, go home. And it's like the first thing that pops up on your feed, it'd be like a recently played game, but it's just downloaded. So it'd be like right there, and you'd be like, okay, let me just tap it and play it. And that's what got me back into Dead by Daylight. Because I was like, I need to re-download it. And when I re-download it, it's like right there. So I was like, I'll play a few rounds. And then I got back into it. I need to finish the level of my Claudette. I know that for sure.
Oh, you mean Blended?
Yeah.
We were having some fun in that stream.
But we're gonna have to talk about Dead by Daylight soon enough. But we'll be streaming that for the month of October with me on Twitch. We had fun. Shout out to Zari. Shout out to Dre. We were surviving. We was doing some things on Dead by Daylight. So look out for that.
Well, some others got left behind.
Yeah, man, it is what it is, and they built a little bond. That's, I guess, people who get stuck do. Survivors, we're on a different type of tier, right? But it's always fun. Hopefully we get Sai in there. Maybe if even Zoe comes through, one of us gets to be the killer, right?
Oh, that would be so fun.
All of that is coming up, and the part of GameHeads reanimated all month long. You gotta follow up on twitch.tv, GameHeads_TV. We have streams coming up from all our stream team. TK is doing all kind of challenges this month. The Elite Kick Spot is gonna be doing so much amazing things. How do they find you on IG?
Yeah, you can find us at IG at Elite Kick Spot _ and then the Facebook group. It'd just be the Elite Kick Spot. Just come over and just drop a clip. You see what you got.
Yeah. So, I'm going to let Sauce kind of update, do some housekeeping on everything we got coming up on for the rest of the month for GameHeads Reanimated.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, with just the regular streams that we have nowadays, I believe it is Monday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the 4 streams that we have on the stream team. Boy Entertainment, they're going to be continuing to stream not Dying Light until dawn. Until dawn. For Eddie Magasso, he's going to be streaming Alien Isolation, which I think me and Sai were there for the first one. We were watching in chat, and oh my gosh, was that an experience.
Someone who doesn't play horror games plays horror games, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it is. That is one thing about doing these streams each month with our streamers. It is so fun to watch them get scared, right? You really see who they really are when they're playing horror games. You get to the persona they may put on is gone when they're getting scared and they're peeing their pants in the little gaming chairs, So. We have Lady Abby on Thursday. She's going to be playing Little Nightmares. And then you can catch me and Cam, like Cam said, playing Dead by Daylight. Hopefully LordZoe and Siicon join us for one of the streams, but we'll be playing that on Fridays. The streams usually range between 8 to 10. You can keep yourself updated on our social medias inside the GameHeads Discord, inside the WhatsApp group if you're in there, and most other places, along with the social medias that each of our streamers have themselves. And we have a lot more cool stuff coming out for the rest of the month as well. So everyone keep yourselves posted.
Yeah, definitely, man. So make sure you look forward to more GameHeads content and more GameHeads XP podcasts in the future by subscribing to GameHeads on all podcast platforms, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and everything. You can find GameHeads XP podcast. All right. We always have special guests, special offers, and always fun conversation. All right. So make sure you follow up on the social as well. Never miss an episode. Big up to everybody on the GameHeads Discord. That's where things go down. All right. That's where you could, really be a part of the community. Really jump in and socialize with us, socialize with other gamers like yourself. So make sure you, link up, be a part. Now, I don't know if I should mention after the stream, we're gonna have an initiation.
Oh, are we?
We're gonna have an initiation. That boy right there.
Yes, sir.
Be initiated. As far as the league. All right, so big up to everybody who reps the Pain Squad
in the Discord, and for those who might be interested as well, we'll be streaming those Pain sessions for League of Legends on the GameHeads channel soon enough. So keep yourselves posted for that too.
So big up all the League of Legends fans. We're gonna put Zai through the ringer. Introduce him to some Pain. All right, so make sure you never miss a stream, never miss a podcast. Remember, this is how you level up. GameHeads XP.